As a former kindergarten teacher, I know and understand how hectic it can be inside a classroom and how tough it can be to stay organized and to keep kids on track throughout your school day. That's where a picture schedule can come in so handy. It can help you to stay on track and help your students at the same time. It's really a win-win and a very low time and prep commitment to help your day run more smoothly. So what is a visual schedule? Exactly what it sounds like. A list of the things or activities that you're going to do throughout the days with picture or icons to help students to access the information. Because think about it, if you're teaching kindergarten or first grade, you probably don't have a classroom full of fluent readers yet. You may have students who aren't native English speakers, or just a variety of reasons that the pictures help everyone to access the schedule. So the pictures are the key here. It's that visual support for students to anticipate what is coming next. When students have this schedule and the pictures to help them, you'll stop hearing, "When's lunch?" because they can go look and they can either count how many activities are coming, or they can see, look, lunch is after my independent work today. I don't have to keep asking Mrs. Murray because I can see it. Or you can simply send them and train them to use the schedule. It can also help you with transitions to run things more smoothly, because if you go over your schedule during morning meeting, your students already know, okay, I'm really wanting to get to recess. Here are the things that are happening before then, and then you know throughout the day you're getting closer and closer to the preferred activity. Now, another thing you can do to help with transitions is throughout the day, as things your activities are ending, you can flip the cards over to show what's changing. If you have a really long school day or a lot of things on your visual schedule, sometimes it's also helpful to have a morning schedule like you can see here, and then flip it and have an afternoon schedule after lunch. Just depends how much support with transition and structure that your students or you might prefer. I mentioned earlier that creating the visual schedule doesn't take a lot of time. It's not complicated, and it can be such a game changer in your classroom as far as limiting those interruptions and maybe tantrums during transition times. So you can find the link to these schedule cards down below. They're also included in my Classroom Visuals bundle. If you've been around for a while or seen some of my other videos, you know I'm a huge proponent of using visual prompts in the kindergarten classroom. So that bundle includes all of our visuals, and we'll have any new ones that are added throughout the year. But this schedule pack is in there as well. So the schedule cards are printed 4 to a sheet. Unfortunately, because everybody's schedule and everybody calls things something a little bit different, there are pages that might have cards that you don't use or you don't want on them, but I tried to include almost everything I could think of. There are 4 or 8 editable, they're not editable, but customizable cards where you can add your own wording to make it work for your classroom. It has just a couple of pictures on there. So it's not the whole set is not customizable, but some of them are. So you can print the cards you need. I would laminate them to make them last longer for you, and then cut them out. That's it. You can store them in, I mentioned earlier that I stored my direction cards in these. You can store it in a pocket. You can store it in, I kept my schedule cards in a pencil box. And then I could just easily go through and find the ones that I needed for that day. And then you're all set and you have it to last as long as you need. Something else I'm often asked about picture schedules is, do I talk about it? Do I just put it up? I did some years just have it up and posted and kids could access it. Some years we needed to go over it every day at morning meeting. That was part of our calendar routine. And so we would go through what our day had in store for us. And it just helped everybody to feel like, okay, we're prepared. We know what's coming. And it kept us all on track as well, because there's always going to be a kiddo in your class who goes, "Mrs. Murray, we didn't get to independent work yet. What do you mean it's time for lunch?" And it will keep you on track that way as well. It is important that you display the schedule somewhere in your classroom where students can access it, where it's not cluttered by other things. Maybe it's part of your calendar bulletin board. Maybe you just have it. I always had mine posted right beside my door so that they could see it every time we transitioned. It was also at our carpet area. From the carpet came into the classroom, they could check to see what was coming next. It just makes it more accessible to them. Another way to make this schedule more accessible to your students is to take photos and create a schedule using pictures at your school. That way you could take a picture if you have special classes of your music teacher, of your phys ed teacher, of your speech teacher, of wherever it is they're going. Take a picture of your own cafeteria and include that on your schedule cards, and that way it's even more reinforcing for your students. There you have it, friends, the Picture Schedule, a classroom management tool that can be a total game changer without a lot of work. So give it a try, see how it helps with your transitions and limiting those interruptions and the constant, when's this kind of questions that you get throughout the day. Thanks so much for stopping by. If this content was helpful for you, please like and subscribe. That lets YouTube know to share this with other kindergarten teachers as well. The link to the printables there is down below, and while you're down there, leave a comment. Tell us how you're using classroom visuals. How's it going in your classroom? I love to hear from other teachers. Speaking of that, if you'd like to get in touch with me, you can find me on Instagram at teachingexceptionalkinders and my email, amy@teachingexceptionalkinders.com. Until next time, have an exceptional day.